moments. Next is the method of the integration method actually. So here we will be finding out the moment of inertia, centroids of rectangular areas, triangular areas, semicircle by using this method of integration. Okay. So first principle, actually it is a combination of method of moments and method of integration actually. So finally we got an equation like integration. So what we need to consider is, so in the last class I've explained this also. So let us consider a rectangle of width b and depth d. Okay. So as usual we need to consider some reference axis to locate the centroid of the figure. So let G be the centroid and let X bar and Y bar be the centroid distances. And now what we need to do is in this case of integration method, so we need to consider a elemental area, okay, of thickness dy. Okay, consider an elemental area thickness dy. Let area be dA and it is located at a distance y from the x-axis. Then what you need to do, you need to apply the first principle. Y bar is equal to integration from 0 to d, because the limits vary from this 0 to d and y into dA divided by a. Therefore we have the area of this small elemental area given by dA is equal to width b, we know here, into dy. So that will be dA, and area of the rectangle will be equal to b into d. So substitute them and simplify them. We got actually you will get it the value of y bar is equal to d by 2, right? So this till here I have explained in the previous class. Okay, all of you clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
So you are I'm audible, right? So I think the video is also able to, the PPT is also seen. Okay, let us move on to the next derivation. Okay, that's nothing but the centroid of a triangle from first principle. Now let us consider a triangle of height b, width b and height h. Okay, and so let G be the centroid. Okay, let us consider x and y axis as shown in the figure. So bottommost line and the leftmost line. So here also same principle you should apply. What you need to do, you should consider a small elemental area of the thickness dy, and the width will be equal to b dash. Okay, b1 or b dash, whatever. So every time what you need to consider small elemental area, and let y be the distance from the x-axis to the elemental area. Now what we need to do, we need to consider the equation y bar is equal to integration y into dA by a, the limits from 0 to h. And here the dA of the small elemental area is given by dA is equal to b dash into dy. And area of the triangle is given by half into base into height. So that's nothing but bh by 2. Next, now we know the formula. Okay, we just substitute here in this equation. Okay, y bar is equal to 0 to h y into b dash into dy. Okay, and the area is equal to this much. Simplify it. So what we'll get? Yeah. So this way, what you need to do, actually, you will have, in order to avoid actually this double integration, so what we need to do, we see there are two variables, y and b1. So what we can do, we can calculate this b in terms of y itself, so that we can avoid the double integration. To do that, what we need to do, let us consider the similar triangles. Okay. So here from similar triangles, so that is nothing but this triangle, one triangle here, and the other triangle will be the larger triangle, which is normal. Okay, this is another triangle. So from these triangles, what we can write is b divided by h. Right, b divided by h will be equal to b dash divided by this much. How much will be this distance from here to here? Anybody?
H minus y.
H minus y, right? So the total y value is h, so minus of y. So from this you can obtain the value of b dash. So b dash will be equal to b into h minus y divided by h. Now you can see the value of b dash is in terms of b, h and y. So the only variable thing is y now. Okay. See, previous step what was there actually. So in this figure, as the depth increases, B1 also will change, isn't it? Because this elemental area we are considering that as general point. Okay, it's not a fixed point. So the y value can change. Okay, so if the y value increases, the b dash will decrease. If y value decreases, b dash value will increase. Okay, so if you consider as it is, okay, b1 and y. So you need to do the double integration. Okay, you need to do double integration. So instead, what we can do, you convert b dash in terms of y itself. So we'll have only one variable, and you can apply the limits from 0 to h only. So y will be the only variable. So it varies from 0 to h. So that is what we have done in this step. Okay. Yeah. So now we'll substitute that in the above equation. If you substitute that, the value of b dash here, okay, so which is nothing but b into, so this hh will cancel out, so y by h and bh by 2, and then just further simplification, y into this b and b will cancel out. Okay, so here, yeah, this b and this b will cancel, so the remaining thing will be 0 to h y into 1 minus y by h into dy. So that is what. And then r, what you can say, this 2 can be there, and h is a constant. So 2 by h, 0 to h, y into y square by h. So integration of that, what you will be getting? The integration of y will be y square by 2. Integration of y square will be equal to y cube by 3. And then apply limits from 0 to h. So h square by 2 minus h cube by h, 3h will be there. So 1h and 1h will cancel out here. So this and this will become 2. Okay, so that it will become h square by 2 minus h square by 3. So upon simplification, so you will get the final value equal to h by 3. So after taking LCM, so 3h square minus 2h square it will become. So y bar is equal to h by 3. So similarly, what you can do is x bar can be obtained as b by 3. So actually, so for finding the x bar, what you need to do is actually you need to consider elemental area over here. So in the vertical direction, you have to consider elemental area like this, as I've already told you in the last class, and the distance from here to here has to be considered as x value. Okay, and the thickness will be, thickness from here to here will be dx. One second. So yeah, all of you are able to see the screen, right? Yeah, here. So this thickness will be dx. So what you need to do, similar principle you need to consider. That's nothing but y bar is equal to integration from 0 to b x into dA divided by a. That formula you should consider and apply the formula. So and simplify it. So x bar is equal to integration from 0 to b. Actually, it will vary from 0 to b, right? And the equation will be equal to x into dA divided by capital A. So you should apply this formula and integrate it, simplify it. You will get the value of x bar is equal to, so it will be definitely it will be equal to the value b by 3. Okay, so you will get it equal to b by 3, because you already know that the centroid will lie at a distance of 1/3 from the base of the triangle and 2/3 from the apex of the triangle. So the base distance actually it is b, so it will be from here to here it will be b by 3. Okay, so this distance will become b by 3, and that's nothing but x bar. Okay, so that's how we will need to find out x bar and y bar in case of the triangle. Next, let us move on to, and okay, next one more. So that was a right angle triangle we had. Now if you have a triangle like this, okay, so the x bar and y bar we need to locate. Can anybody tell me what will be the value of x bar? So if you have a similar triangle like this, which is, pyramid shaped, so isosceles isosceles triangle. So here x bar will be equal to b by 2, and what is y bar? Y bar is equal to 1/3 of the h. Okay, h by 3 it will be. So from base it will be 1/3 of h, right? Next, let us consider some semicircle like this. Okay, and let O be the center point. I mean, on the line of the diagonal. Okay, and let G be the centroid of the semicircle, and definitely the centroid will lie on the axis of symmetry. So this is the axis of symmetry. Now let us consider the x and y bar, I mean x axis and y axis like this. Okay. Now, since the centroid is lying on the y axis, so x bar, you will have the value of y bar, but x bar value will be equal to 0, right? And next, so let R be the radius of the semicircle. Okay. And let us consider small elemental area like this. Okay. See, here also we could have considered the same way. Okay. Instead of what actually you could have done here is, one second. Yeah, here also you could have considered an elemental area like this. Okay. But if you consider elemental area like this, so what are all the variation things which will be considered? What will be the variables in that integration formula? Anybody? So y bar will be equal to, we need to only determine y bar here, x bar will be equal to 0. So if you wanted to find out the y bar is equal to integration of y into dA divided by a. Okay. So y value will be there. Some y value can be there from here to here. Okay. So whereas yeah, dA will be equal to the width. There will be some width. Let's say b1. Okay. So we know that this width b1 will vary as the height changes, right? As y changes, b1 also will change. So there will be two variables, and it will be very difficult to calculate the variation of this b1 in terms of this y. Okay. So instead of that, in circular figures, okay, we will consider a elemental area, small triangle. Okay. The elemental area is nothing but it is the small representative part of the whole area. Okay, it should be like that. But actually speaking, if you consider this one, it will be very difficult to represent the variation of this b1 in terms of y. So we will be going by this method. Right. Now, so we need to find out x bar and y bar. Yeah, all of you able to see the screen, right? Person with mic, just tell me.
Sir.
Yeah, okay. Now let us consider elemental area dA, and let G be the centroid of that small elemental area, and the height of the triangle, because as you know there will be some curvature here, but since the elemental area is very small, so this curvature can be neglected and it can be considered directly as a triangle. Okay. And from a sector of a circle, this width can be given by r d theta, right? If let us say, for example, d theta is the angle made by the small triangle at the apex of the triangle. Okay, then if r is the radius of that or height of the triangle, then the base width can be given by r d theta from geometry. Okay. And now, so let theta be the angle made by the small elemental area. So actually speaking, this elemental area is a representative part. So in order to get the whole area, what you could have done, what you should do is you need to have n number of triangles like this. Okay, you may have one triangle like this. So you may have one more triangle like this, and so you can have n triangles. So you will get the total area, but isn't it? So that's how you can do it. But now what we will be doing, we will be considering only one elemental area. Okay, and we'll be considering, we will be applying the formula and proceeding with that. Now in this isosceles triangle, we know from a triangle, from first principle, just now we have got the center of a triangle will lie at a distance of 1/3 from the base of the triangle, whereas 2/3 from the apex of the triangle. So from here it will be 1/3 from the apex of the triangle, sorry, 2/3 from the apex of the triangle and 1/3 from the base of the triangle. So we know if r is a height, so therefore the centroid G will lie at a distance of 2r/3 from here. Okay, and this distance y will be equal to 2r/3 sin theta. Why we are doing this? Because in the formula we need to substitute that y value, right? So we don't have this y value, so we will have to, and actually we will be substituting that y value in terms of r. Okay, so to do that we are considering this geometry case. So consider this geometry as the apex of the triangle is 2r/3. From the distance from G to apex, it is 2r/3, and then consider this triangle. Okay, if you consider if you consider this right angle triangle, we know we need to find out this y. Okay, so opposite side, we know that sin theta is equal to opposite side divided by adjacent side, hypotenuse side. So opposite side is y. Okay, hypotenuse side is this 2r/3. Okay, 2r divided by 3. Therefore the value of y will be equal to, we'll get this one, 2r/3 sin theta. Okay, 2r/3 sin theta will be the y value, and this value can be simply substituted in the equation. That's nothing but y dA divided by integration x y bar is equal to integration y dA divided by a, that formula. So we know that y bar is equal to integration y divided by a, and we know the value of dA, the area of the triangle, will be nothing but half into base, that's nothing but r into d theta, into height, which is nothing but r. Therefore r dr divided by r into r d theta divided by 2. So it will become r square d theta divided by 2. And now we know that the total area of a triangle, the semicircle, will be equal to, actually for a circle pi r square is the area, so semicircle it will be pi r square by 2. And also we have from the above we got y is equal to 2r/3 sin theta. Now we will substitute everything in the above equation. So y into dA, here we will substitute the value of y is equal to 2r/3 sin theta, dA is equal to r square d theta divided by 2, right? So that will become, and further simplification 2 goes above, and so there is a r square here. You can cancel out this r square and this r square, right? So only remaining thing will be this r. Okay, 2 and one more 2 and 2 will cancel out. So therefore 2/3 r divided by pi into integration from 0 to pi sin theta into d theta. Okay, so the only variable here is theta. Now see, actually speaking, the value of theta varies from 0 to, what is the angle? What is the maximum angle? Minimum angle is 0 and maximum angle is 180. Yes, correct. So we need to apply the limit from 0 to 180, which is nothing but 0 to pi. Okay, so therefore 2/3 upon simplification, 2r/3 pi into 0 to pi sin theta. So integration of sin theta is cos theta, right? Minus cos theta. So minus cos theta into the limits from 0 to pi, you will get 2r/3 minus substitute the limits. So cos pi minus cos 0. So cos pi is minus 1, cos 0 is 1, therefore minus 1 minus 1, so minus 2, minus of minus 2 plus 2 it will become. So 2 into 2, 4 it will become. So 4r by 3 pi is the y bar for a semicircle. Okay, value of y bar is equal to 4r by 3 pi. That's nothing but whenever you are given with a semicircle like this, right? So x bar will the centroid will definitely lie on the y-axis. Therefore, x bar will be equal to 0 if you are referring from, if you are taking this as the reference axis, y-axis itself as the reference axis. But if you take the y-axis over here, then what will be x bar? If r is the radius, what will be x bar?
R by 2.
Will it be r by 2 or r? Just r. Radius, if diameter is d, then it will be d by 2. Okay, x bar is nothing but from here to here only. That's nothing but radius. So x bar will become r only.
R.
Yeah, right. Otherwise, in terms of diameter, it will be d by 2. X bar will become d by 2. Right. So this is how we will have to derive the centroid of a semicircle. Now let us. Yeah, this is what I'm explaining. So if you have this kind of a figure, now can you tell me what is x bar here? What is y bar and what is x bar? What is x bar? What is y bar? So y bar, since the reference, since the centroid is lying on x-axis, definitely what will be y bar? Y bar is equal to 0 because exactly lying on the x-axis only. What will be x bar? Just now we have arrived, right? What is the equation for y bar in the previous case? 4r by 3 pi. So now onwards you should remember this formula. So if you have a semicircle which is horizontally oriented like this, okay, then y bar vertically it is lying at a distance of 4r by 3 pi from the base. Okay, always remember centroid of a semicircle will lie at a distance of 4r by 3 pi from the base of the semicircle. Okay. Similarly, even if the semicircle oriented in the vertical direction like this, the x bar value can be same as 4r by 3 pi only because it is same r and the same radius, but it is just rotated about the axis. That's it. So y bar has become x bar. So therefore, x bar is equal to 4r by 3 pi. All of you clear? Any doubt, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Next, let us, and y bar definitely equal to 0. Now let us proceed with the location of center of a quarter circle from first principle, right? So similar to the previous figure, what we do is, actually speaking, it is same as the semicircle derivation only, but only the difference. Can anybody tell me what is the only difference which will be there between semicircle and quarter circle?
0 to pi by 2. 0
Yes.
to pi by 2 is the limit.
So the limits you need to apply from actually 0 to pi by 2. Okay. So here the angle theta changes from 0 to pi by 2 only. So that's all we need to consider here and apply the similar, the elemental area will be considered as same calculation 2r by 3 and then y value will be equal to, y is equal to 2r by 3 sin theta, everything will be same. Only limits application will be different. That's it. And so therefore you will get a similar thing and the limit will be from 0 to pi by 2. That's nothing but y bar. Okay, so you will get now cos, if you substitute the limits, integration of sin theta will be definitely minus cos theta. Limits are from 0 to pi by 2 and you can see here 4r by 3 pi into minus cos pi by 2 minus cos 0. Cos pi by 2 is 0. Whereas and one more thing is actually what one more difference is area of the semicircle. So that is one more difference and that you can see here actually. One more difference here is total area in this formula. So because this is y into dA divided by A, right? dA remains same r square by r square d theta by 2 only it will be there. But area of a quarter circle will be nothing but pi r square by 4. But previous case it was pi r square by 2. Okay. So that's one more difference which you can observe here. So therefore, in the beginning itself you will get a 4r by 3 pi here into integration of sine theta into d theta limits from 0 to pi by 2, and substitute those limits, and therefore minus cos pi by 2 minus cos theta, cos 0. So cos 0 is 1 and cos pi by 2 is 0. So 0 minus of 1, therefore minus of minus 1 plus 1, and that will be equal to 4r by 3 pi. So you can also write it as 0.424 r. Okay, 0.424 r. But one more difference here between the semicircle and quarter circle is, so it is not symmetrical about the x and y axis, any axis. So you will have both x bar and y bar. Right now we had calculated x bar. So similarly, what you should do, you have to consider the limits. You need to calculate, you can calculate x bar as well. So what you need to do, you should apply the formula x bar is equal to integration, okay, 0 to pi by 2 only, same thing, okay, whereas the formula will be x into dA divided by a. Okay, so this is the formula which you need to apply for finding out the x bar. Thing is, what is this x, dA and a? You need to consider from this figure itself. Okay, so here again, what you need to do, you have to calculate this value. Okay, which will be nothing but 2r by 3. What will be this? Cos theta it will become. Okay, so x value, this distance from the apex to this point, the centroid of small g, the distance of small g from the y-axis is nothing but x. Okay, and x is equal to 2r by 3 cos theta. That is one difference. Okay, and semicircle area, semicircle area will remain same. D also will remain same. Only x will change. Okay, so that value of x you need to substitute here. So other than that, dA remains same. Area of a quarter circle also remains same. Okay, so that way you can find out the value of x bar as well, right? So from here what we can conclude is the x bar and y bar will have both equal to 4r by 3 pi value only.